Welcome to Spirit Talks, because your spirit talks to you.
Hello and welcome to Spirit Talks. I'm Susie Beiler.
And I'm Maximilliam Haver.
Today's Spirit Talk topic is gratitude.
Thanks for joining us and enjoy.
Well, tomorrow in the U.S. it's Thanksgiving. So typically this is the time of year where we all get super grateful and express how thankful we are for everything. Why do we only do this once a year?
Well, it's a celebration that focuses that energy on gratitude. So it's a time of focusing that, but you can practice it any and every day of the year, and you should, because that energy of gratitude is a combination of recognition. It's appreciation, and it's also honoring, giving credit for things being the way they are in your life that you are grateful for.
So sometimes it's easy to be grateful for all the good stuff, the abundance, the love, the friendships, whatever, whatever it is that you're grateful for. What about the uncomfortable situations, or if you're in lack, or, things that you don't feel so grateful for? How do you approach that with gratitude?
Well, it comes from understanding what you're learning, what you're gaining, how you're growing from these things that you can certainly find gratitude, and also having the experience in contrast to what you do appreciate. So if you go much time without, say, food, and then you finally have food, you appreciate it in contrast. So
a little bit of polarity.
Yeah, so there are qualities that assist in gratitude in that, but it takes an active engagement to recognize that. Simply experiencing one and the other, a person can simply push past, like they can simply miss that opportunity to engage in that energy of gratitude. So it's being present and aware, and actively being in that energy. Also, with so there's the common things that you are grateful for, and then there's the challenging things to be grateful for. But what goes past people sometimes are the simple things to be grateful for.
Yeah.
Most obvious of those is your health. Whatever level of health you're at in this current moment, be grateful for it, because there are many other levels of health you can experience, which can be challenging, and those in themselves have growth opportunities. But to appreciate where you are in your current level of comfort and ability and overall, ability to experience in this life, as well as the roles each part of your health is played by. So how the body serves in housing the soul, and in maintaining functionality, and sharing its senses with your soul, and all these things. Gratitude with the mind, and how it serves in discerning, and how it serves in allowing you to make choices, both positive and negative, so that you can explore these things. The heart, how it communicates to you emotion and communicates to you messages from the soul, and also the more subtle energy body, and how it carries energy flows and carries channels of information for you in those ways. So those are just some examples of some more subtle things that are always working very hard and working on your behalf to give you an experience here to have gratitude for. Are there any other kind of subtle experiences you would like to mention that you can have gratitude for?
Yeah, well, going back to what I first mentioned, the question I asked about gratitude in the challenging times, I can remember many times where I expressed gratitude for my growth opportunities, even though they didn't feel good, even though I didn't, wasn't super excited about going through the experiences. I had this level of thankfulness that, one, I was able to go through them, and two, that I allowed them into my life so that I could grow and evolve. And also that I had the support to be able to go through them. So I'm one of those people that every once in a while I can feel the support of the light beings around me. And it's not always, but in times where I really need it, I don't know how it works, but I get that feeling. I don't know if they give me that feeling or I ask for it, or I couldn't give you a formula, but in those times I've felt them wrapping their arms around me and beaming love to me. And even though I can't see them, I know they're there assisting me, and I'm so grateful for that. So I would like to maybe just take a few moments before we end this conversation and just share with our listeners some of the things that we're grateful for. I'm grateful, first of all, for you and your idea to start these conversations, because we've had many conversations, just you and I, and very intellectual information that comes through you, very astute and wise information that comes through you. And I was trying to figure out a way to share what you offer with the world, and this is a perfect way. So I'm grateful that you had this idea. And I'm grateful for the little things in my life, the organic food in my fridge and the roof over my head and a comfy bed to sleep in and all these comforts that I enjoy. I'm grateful that I'm able to have these things in my life. And, we live a simple life, and that's how I like it. And I'm grateful for those little comforts because they kind of keep me going and provide more ease for my journey.
I myself am very grateful for the experiences I've had for the past 10 years in growth and sharing with people and connecting and traveling and many, many, many things in this. And particularly this past year and a half has been quite an adventure out here since I moved here. And I got to meet you and share a very healthy exchange and relation and experience with you, and that was very special for me. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
And I'm also very thankful for the times we're in, because it's that tipping point in the mass consciousness of humans, very specifically in humans, that is changing how our experience of the world is going to be quite soon. So I'm thankful for that, as well as how it's going to be reflected in my own experience internally. So there's multiple things I'm thankful for, but those are the major ones.
Yeah, we could sit here and talk for a while, but I wanted to kind of give some highlights because there is so much to be grateful for. And even for you guys, if you don't have much or if you're feeling lack, there's always, I'm not a big fan of comparing yourself to someone else, but there is always that perspective you can get when you're feeling lack or you're feeling a little down. There are people who have more challenging experiences than you do. And so I encourage you to look at what you do have, even if it's not stuff, the experiences you have, the spiritual connection that you have, the support that you have in your life. There's so many places to look in our lives to find reasons to be grateful.
Now, there is one more thing I think is very important that I've been practicing just recently with you this past few months, is gratitude for others receiving from you.
Yes.
This is actually, with gratitude, we often think, how are we grateful for the things that benefit us individually? But there's also the part of sharing and exchange and connection and expressing gratitude for someone receiving from you, receiving gifts, receiving information, receiving advice, receiving your care and attention. You feel, in some ways it feels like you're giving a lot, but if you recognize with gratitude the actual receiving that they're getting, that gratitude in itself gives back to you. And this is why there's that saying,
Yeah.
Give to others and you receive back as you give.
So I have to share with you guys what he's talking about. If he's helping me with something and I say thank you, he'll say thank you for receiving. And it's like this, oh, well, yeah, well, you're welcome. Of course, I am receiving. It really uplifts every party involved.
Yeah, and it also assists the person receiving with their worthiness for receiving, their willingness to ask to receive, and in that exchange, opening up that flow in divine feminine for the collective.
Yeah. So next time you give something to someone and they thank you, to them you can say, "Well, thank you for receiving."
Yes. So thank you each for listening and receiving.
Love you guys.